3 wins, 3 clean sheets, 9 points, and the Greens well and truly in the mix for the end of season playoffs. Hello, good evening, and welcome to a home park which is expectant tonight. A sellout crowd is going to be inside the Theatre of Greens, and Portsmouth are in town for this big Sky Bet League One game this evening. They also, of course, in contention for the playoffs as well. Over the next 45 minutes or so, we'll be building up to the game, bringing you team news and interviews. Everything is in place at the moment. All we need is an Argyle win. Well, helping us talk through everything until kick-off today is the former Argyle striker Ian Stonebridge. Ian, as always, lovely to have you with us.
Yeah, great to be here. What a lovely evening, and yeah, really excited to see this game.
And a massive game in anticipation as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both teams obviously really looking to push on for the playoffs, so you know, whoever gets a favourable result tonight is really in a good position to kind of kick on for the rest of the season.
We saw Argyle kind of play and get a win over one of those playoff chasing teams on Saturday with the win over Bolton. We'll have a look at the highlights of that in a moment. Today's another one. Pompey, another one of these teams that are chasing Argyle. I want to reel them back into that kind of the mix, really, aren't they?
Yeah, it kind of, looking at the table, it feels like it may be more important for them to get a win than Argyle tonight, but I'm sure Argyle will be looking to kind of stretch their lead over some of those clubs that are in and around that playoff picture at the moment. So yeah, it'll be great to see the Argyle come out and really take it to Portsmouth and hopefully get the right result.
We normally get a 2-2 draw in this game. The last 3 games between the two sides have ended 2-2. There's been quite a few draws in there as well. They're generally tight. I mean, they're two clubs that harbour ambitions to get out of the league, and we've been treated over the last few games.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, that level of entertainment perhaps, but maybe with Argyle coming out on the right side of the result, we'll settle for that tonight.
Well, we'll bring you some team news in just a moment, as I said, but we'll have a look at what happened on Saturday, because the Greens, as I said at the top, got their 3rd win in a row, their 3rd clean sheet in a row, and it all happened up in Bolton.
the best type of wins. 1-0 win away from home, goal from a set play. It doesn't get much better than that.
It does have a sense of a big win, that game, doesn't it? Continuing the form we're in, and like you say, to do it in that way was superb.
Yeah, it's a massive win. Bolton are in real good form. They've been picking up loads of good results of late. They're unbeaten here in 7 games, so we knew before the game how tough it was going to be, and it proved that. I thought the lads were excellent, though. We showed a different sort of character, if you like, and gutsy performance. Played some good stuff in the first half, created a few good chances, but second half we had to really dig in and defend well, and yeah, we managed to get over the line, get 3 points.
Set piece goal as well, which is always nice, just before half time.
Yeah, great time to score. We've been pretty good the last few games from set pieces. We've almost scored a few times. Usually is taking charge of the attacking set plays, and he keeps going mad. They're not quite going in, but today, yeah, it was designed and well worked. Great delivery from Jordan, and Macker on the back stick gets one in. So really pleased. We need to get more goals from set plays, so it's just something we'll keep working on.
You mentioned we had to kind of dig in that second half and show the solidity. A couple of big saves from Coops, so blocks coming in from everybody. It never really opened us up hugely, though, did they?
Well, listen, they had a lot of the possession second half. We're 1-0 up, we've got something to defend, and they've had some big chances. But we knew that before the game that was likely to happen. The players that they've got going forward, Affeline and Dion Charles and Bod Varson's in good form, and the lads who he brought off the bench, Kachunga, has played at a higher level. So we knew we were going to have to defend well. We're going to need our goalkeeper again. Michael made a great save, and then the lad hit the post with probably their best chance of the game. So look, that's part and parcel of football. Sometimes you don't get it all your own way. You'll have to dig in, and today we've done it, and I'm really pleased. It's another clean sheet.
That Kachunga header, did you think it had gone in?
Yeah, it was a great stand-up. The ball was different class, and he only just came on the pitch, and you're thinking, oh my God, his first touch, it's in. But look, it didn't go in. We got the bounce of the ball at that time. It hits the post, comes out, and we managed to get it clear. But I think the lads deserve that little bit of luck for how well they've performed and how well they've defended, especially in the last 3 games.
Yeah, 7 minutes of added on time. Did they feel long? Because I thought we coped with it actually pretty well.
Yeah, we did cope with it well, because one of their players had gone off. He said he wasn't feeling great, so they had 10 men, which meant that they weren't bombarding our goal. We sort of seen it out, and again, was professional. No, their fans are probably going mad because we're taking our time at set plays and whatnot, but again, that's part and parcel of football. It's game management. It's good from us, senior players taking charge, and yeah, they've seen the game out, and it's another big win at a tough place to come.
We spoke before the game in the week about this game being one of those, if we win, we go further away from Bolton. If they were to get a result, they'd come closer to us. We have gone further away than Bolton. Just 10 games to go. We're in that 6th place at the minute.
That's it, and I'll still say the same thing. We're not too concerned about what everybody else is doing, because we know what we need to do. We know how, when we play well and when we put the effort in, put the work rate in, like the players are showing at the moment, then we're a good team. So we can't be concerned about getting ahead of Bolton or closing gaps on whoever's above us. Just got to keep trying to tick the points off as much as we can. So it's going to be a tough run in, 10 hard games to go. But the lads need to grow in confidence and believe that, you never know, if we keep sticking to the plan, it can happen.
Just a final word on the fans, 1,400 of them today.
Yeah, brilliant. We've had 2 good 1-0 away performances here over the last couple of seasons, so yeah, amazing support once again. Got right behind the team, and in that last 10-15 minutes when times are tough, they spurred us on, and we need them. We're going to need them. So the green arm will go home happy again today, like I will, and yeah, we'll all enjoy the weekend.
Well, enjoy the weekend. We did, Stephen. It was a great win, and as we were talking about just before, Ian, a vital one to get it. And the manager spoke about it then. It showed a different side to Argyle, that performance. It was a dogged one. Second half in particular, had to really dig in, with Bolton very, very keen to try and get that equaliser.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how many people expected us to go up there and get that result, and I was delighted to see the scoreline, and as you mentioned, it's a different type of game maybe than we've become used to seeing out here, and brilliant that the team can show that side to their game and see out a win in the way that they did.
players and staff were visibly really, really delighted that the goal was from a corner as well, from a set piece, because it's kind of one of those classic away games where you get 1-0 win, clean sheet, goal from a set piece.
Yeah, it's really nice, and that's something that I guess the coaches can point to as things they've worked on that have a really a tangible impact in the game. So yeah, it's brilliant and great for Gillespie to get his goal as well.
And when you do get to these, we're into the final 10 games now. And we spoke about it the last time we were kind of talking here before the Rotherham game. The final stretch, doesn't really matter how you play too much. Is that right? You're just about getting results at this stage of the season? I
think it absolutely is, and particularly from the management and the team's perspective. So as much as when we come to watch, we like to see an entertaining game. I'm sure everyone that's coming tonight is going to want to see some good football, and I'm sure they will. But when you get to this end of the season, like you said, it really is about those points on the board. And Argyle's last, their run of games has really put pressure on the teams around them and shown everyone that they're putting themselves in a great position to challenge, during this last spell of the season. Yeah.
A win today would certainly go a long way to doing that. Let's just have a look at the side selected by Stephen Schumacher for this evening's game then. And as you can see, there's 3 changes there for the Pilgrims. Conor Grant replaced by Stephen Sessegnon. Then you've got Luke Jeffcott coming in for Niall Ennis up front and Panuche Kamara in the midfield for Ryan Broom. 3 changes, having not changed the side for the last couple of games, you probably imagine there'd be a bit of a freshen up, but how do you kind of assess those changes made?
Yeah, I think we've maybe, with the volume of games that have come along recently, we've seen a more settled side than maybe we would have expected. So to see 3 changes tonight, I guess, after a good win at the weekend, it's not too much of a surprise. No position for Pete tonight, though.
Could be in the back 3, couldn't he, Pete? Maybe blocking some of those shots coming in. It's a home debut for Sess as well, for Stephen Sessegnon. He's had fits and starts. Really hasn't started a game yet. But what have you thought from his performances when he's had the opportunity so far?
I think he's looked really sharp, and he's clearly got some attributes that could be put to great use down that left-hand side tonight. The bonus, I think, of the players that are coming into the team, not just tonight, but maybe that will be needed over these last few games of the season, is that competition for places. Everyone will be desperate to be involved with the team that's doing well, and so particularly for someone coming in on loan, they want to get in the team and show why they're down here, and it will be a really important game for Sessegnon to kind of put a marker down tonight. Like you said, first start, so from the start of the game, let's chance for him to show us what he can do.
And Conor Grant's been one of the kind of key performers this season. 7 goals, I think 5 assists. He's been playing really well, especially at home as well. I think he's scored in the last few games that we've had here. So there would be naturally, I suppose, some sort of trepidation when the squad gets announced and the fans kind of think, oh, he's not in there. But we've seen enough from Sess. He's a different sort of player, obviously, isn't he? But he's a championship player, isn't he? He plays for Fulham. Yeah,
there's no doubt Conor Grant's been an outstanding performer for the team this year, and rightly supporters might be disappointed to see he's not in the team tonight. But having said that, like we said, this squad's here for a reason. We strengthened last summer, and the loan signings that have come in, perhaps they haven't played as big a part as they would have liked so far. So maybe this is the start of them showing their worth to Argyle for the rest of the season.
Well, he comes in as part of a defensive unit that's got 3 clean sheets in the last 3 games, which has seen Argyle on this good run of form. One of the players who's been there pretty much throughout the entire season is James Wilson, and I caught up with him earlier in the week.
Excited, I guess, yeah. More just want to try and get the job done now. We put ourselves in a really good position, but this is, like you said, the final push. So this is what it all comes down to. This is what you look forward to every year. This final bit of the season. It's got some massive games, but no, we're all looking forward to it.
How do you feel people like you and the other sort of experienced players can kind of help?
I don't know really. I think everyone's just got to have their own experience of this situation. I think it's just tough. You can't really shed any wisdom on it. I think you've just got to go. Every game's just got to be. That's the most important game. I think the last 2 games are really important. I think everyone can bring their own bit of wisdom to the table, no matter what experience they've got.
And I suppose at this stage of the season, they don't have to be the most exciting games, do they? Anymore? It's just about getting the point.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I think they'll be exciting games when we play teams that are going to attack us more, because it'll be tougher. There'll be more defending to do, so they'll in itself be more exciting. But I think that was the main aim, to take away the wins, definitely.
Just I want to talk about your and Joe's relationship on that right-hand side. You spoke about the fact that you've played with each other quite a few times over the years. But, you know, there is a sort of, well, there's a great understanding, I think, between the two of you. Sometimes you go on the overlap, on the underlap, he's there. Just talk about what it's like playing with him.
It's great, yeah. I think the attacking side of it, yeah, but more importantly, the defensive side of it's great for me. I always know he's going to do above and beyond to help me out, and hopefully I can do the same for him. So, I love playing with him. Yeah. Does
it make it easier, the fact that you are quite good pals off the pitch as well?
I don't know, because I've had good pals that I don't like playing with.
Right,
so,
really? Okay.
Yeah, no, I love playing with Joe, and obviously I love him as a bloke as well. So it helps, I think, at the moment. Yeah.
I suppose you can dig him out.
Yeah. Really, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely do that to each other. Yeah.
Just on that defensive kind of setup as well, because the last couple of games clean sheet, and you know it's easy to forget that we've lost Dan Scott being ever present. We've lost Brendan Galloway, James Bolton. Mac has just stepped in and has been almost seamless, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I just said before that we had a week where it was really bad, so we really had to address it. And as a team, not just a back three, back four, back five, whatever, we had to address it as a team. And I think it's credit to the boys that we've come out of the last 6 games and got them results. Because before that, it was we had a really bad week. We let in a lot of goals. So no, I think it's good that we've addressed that, and hopefully we can carry that on.
James Wilson there speaking to me earlier this week, and the thing that struck me most about that, Ian, was just how calm he is. I mean, he is one of the calmest guys I've ever met.
Yeah, I think it's probably the first interview I've seen of him, and yeah, you know, clearly not particularly fazed by too much, and you know, very relaxed in the way he was answering the questions, which is really good to see, I think.
Does that help, do you think, with the way that he plays? Because you know, he is quite a physical sort of defender, you know, stereotyping, but centre backs known for their calmness.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've been really impressed with the way he's come into the side this season, and you know, played so many games at such a high standard, and you know, his recovery runs in particular. You know, I think time and time again we've seen him with his you know, forays forward that are often quite productive in themselves, but then 2 seconds later he'll be popping up back in our box, you know, covering against a counter attack, and you know, that's been seen throughout the season. So yeah, really impressed with him as a performer, and you know, clearly could be a nice kind of calming influence amongst the squad.
His experience is another thing. I kind of asked him about it in there, and he did kind of push it aside and say, well, everybody sort of contributes, which I get, but when you do have guys like him, and it was Dan Scarr before, Joe Edwards on the outside, you know, they've played a lot of games of football, and in this sort of situation, you know, Argyle haven't been here too many times in the last few years. How key is that?
I think it's really important, and you know, that kind of feeds into the settled nature of the team as well. So you know, despite some of the injuries, you know, over the course of the season, I think that back three and the back five as a whole has been a, you know, really quite consistent in players that have been involved, and you know, ultimately maybe but for a couple of blips, and I think he mentioned maybe one of those, you know, they've been really consistent in their performances as well, and you know, that's been a fantastic base along with Mike Cooper for the team to work from.
Those foray forwards, they're incredible. It's like an overlapping centre back, isn't it? And I think it works, the fact that him and Joe, you know, are quite good pals. They played with each other a couple of times for different clubs, I think Bristol City and Walsall. They obviously have an understanding about how each other play.
Yeah, and I think the you know, the system obviously that the team set up in allows him to do that as well. You know, having that 2 other centre backs, you know, in position potentially if he's going forwards, you know, in order to deal with a counter attack, and obviously Jordan Houghton in front as insurance. But yeah, you know, the interplay with him and Joe Edwards and that communication, and you know, again, it was clear from the interview they're obviously good pals, and I think he mentioned that can be useful on the pitch where you need to dig out your mate and you know, tell him what for, you know, in the right way, I'm sure, but that can really help with the performances as well.
Did you ever have to do that when you knew you could actually do it to a player because you were quite good friends with him?
I don't know, to be honest. I remember getting some stick from Buster about Buster not making my runs at the right time, maybe for his crosses, which were always you know, inch perfect. So you know, he was always right on that one.
Just want to flip up to the top end of the pitch. Obviously, your area of expertise, and 2 pals as well who you know, have a great relationship on the field as well as off it. Back together again today in Luke Jeffcott and Ryan Hardy. We've seen the strikers rotated a lot, but just do you think this is the best pairing that Argyle have?
I don't think I would say it's the best pairing. I think it's a really strong pairing, amongst several different really good options that we've got in the squad. And I don't think I was too surprised to see the rotation again. And I think Luke in particular with Ryan Hardy does give a slightly different kind of mix of options. So this season I think I've been impressed with Luke's link-up play. He's been coming slightly deeper at times, and some really good passes, particularly kind of helping it on around the corner for those runners in behind. And we know that he's deadly in the box, along with Ryan Hardy. So hopefully he can do a bit of both of that tonight, and we can see him be effective, in and around the 6-yard box as well as in his link-up play.
I'm hoping they are the best for this fixture though, because the last 2 times we played Pompey, they've scored the 4 goals. 2 from Jeps last season, 2 from Hardy this season. So I'm clinging on to omens, Ian. Trying to cling on to as much as I can. Let's have a quick look at the league table then, because it's an interesting one, this playoff race. We can kind of probably forget about the top 2. They're away. MK Dons are probably quite far in that playoff position as well, but you could argue anywhere from Sunderland, maybe even the place above them, all the way down to Bolton, still 10 points behind Argyle in that final playoff spot. Will feel they have a chance.
Yeah, they definitely will, and I think as I've already said, it's such a brilliant thing that Argyle have got on a good run of form, and the games leading into this one, perhaps that we were talking about as maybe being winnable on paper, and then a really tough away game at Bolton, which they've ended up with 3 points from as well. I think that stands them in fantastic stead for this run-in, and yeah, a win tonight can take us past Sunderland. Puts another marker down for those teams that think they've got a chance of catching Argyle, and hopefully we can show them that they haven't.
Well, yeah, absolutely. There are a couple of games actually that are taking place that have a bearing on Argyle, but it's just every time you look at the results, you click on whatever app you use to get the scores after the game, you think great, we've got a win, and then you see Sunderland have won, Sheffield Wednesday have won, Portsmouth have won, Wickham have won. It does feel like every team that's trying to get in those playoffs is winning at the moment.
It does, and I think that makes it kind of
continue.
Yeah, maybe not. It makes it all the better, I think, when you listen to the manager and listen to the players in the way they talk about that, where they're not worrying about what's going on around them. It's the bits of their performance that they can control, and they're sticking to their plans and making sure they're as well prepared as they can be. And I think that's always great to hear.
Is that something that actually does happen, or do you look at the table? I'm just thinking of when you were, went through the leagues. Second season in particular, very, very tight.
I think it was teletext back then.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, you didn't have Twitter. But I mean, would you be looking at the scores in the week, or would you? Is it a genuine distraction?
I think you would. I think the times, leading up to the game. So there's yesterday, today, in the immediate kind of preparation period for the match. That's the time when they definitely need to be focused on this, and they will be, rightly so. I think there are times maybe, after the game when you're relaxing a little bit more, perhaps that's the time when you start to look around you and you can kind of think about that. But ultimately, it's Argyle that can control their own destiny. If they get the right results from here till the end of the season, then they'll be in the playoffs. As simple as that.
Well, that's what we're hoping for. Let's just have a little look at the other games that are going on around the division today. Just 7 games. Obviously, this is a catch-up for a lot of clubs that had games cancelled earlier on in the season. A couple of ones I want to pick out that are including, or kind of have a bearing on what happens for Argyle in the run into the season. Sheffield Wednesday at home to Accrington. They're in great form, just a place behind Argyle at the moment. And then Wickham against Fleetwood. And of course, we'll be keeping you up to date with all of those games throughout the evening. Rob and Ian will be doing it during the commentary, and then I'll be sweeping it up after the game as well. Just a reminder, we'd like you to get in touch with us as well if you can. You can get involved on social media, Facebook. Just search for us at Plymouth Argyle Football Club, or Only One Argyle on Twitter. As you can see, the players are warming up behind us, and we are ticking down to kick-off here at Home Park for Argyle against Portsmouth. Well, let's just turn our attention away from this evening's game for just a moment and look at how the Argyle women and academy sides got on over the weekend. Both of them were at home, both of them got wins. Here are their highlights. Top results for both of them, that wasn't it? Gemma Rose with an absolute belter for the women's team for their 2-1 win over Chichester and Chelsea. That's seen them out of the relegation zone, which is great news. Hopefully Ryan Perkside can continue their form they're on. That's now 3 wins in a row for them. And for Darren Ways, under-18s, they go from strength to strength. 2-0 win over Southend United at Harpers Park. And they've got Exeter City this weekend in the EFL Merit League 1 campaign. Right, the Argyle Community Trust is something that I'm sure all of you have heard of, and they do some sterling work in the southwest and are doing loads to help people, with football being the main sort of centred theme. And one of the big success stories in recent years has been the football and education programme that they run. It's for teenagers in the region post-16. And this is a closer look at what they get up to.
The post-16 football education programme offers the students the opportunity to study the equivalent of 3 A-levels in sport, so study a BTEC extended diploma in sport. Combining their studies is a full-time football training programme. They're looking at tactics, looking at systems of play, as well as individual development plans as well. Playing something called the National Football Youth League, which is against football education programmes that run similar programmes to us. So against all other football clubs across the country, highest standard of football outside the Youth Alliance. So it's a great standard of football for the boys to go into and helps them bridge the gap between grassroots and academy football, but also grassroots and men's football as well. So the aim is to obviously produce students who are academically more qualified than when they first came in, and also develop them as footballers and as people to allow them to progress in their football careers, but also to their aspired careers in their life as well.
Gives the boys a real good grounding in what it's like to be a professional, but also gives them an education which is more important to us, that they get out of this course after 3 years and then they can progress into universities or wherever they want to go, and they said the rare occasions that we can get them into a professional football club. A lot of our boys have got dreams of being professional footballers, so it's great if we can help them with that along their way.
For us, I think each student's success story is very, very different. So all of the students will come into us at different levels. So some students come in of a high footballing ability, and we're looking to progress them higher up the ladder in football. Some students come in having just played grassroots, and it's about us developing their core skills to enable them to go and play a good level of non-league football. There's been plenty of success stories for us from students going over to study in America and continue their football education, but also we've had students progress into the academy system after doing 1 year of us. So again, each student's success story looks different, but we want to try and develop each individual in a different way possible, in as many different ways possible, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
We see a big change in players, I think. We get them in obviously in their first year, and it's a little bit new to them. I think coming in, having done it myself as a career, training every day is hard, especially trying to balance up with their education side of things that we hold so important to them, the education side. If they don't do it in the classroom, they don't play, which is important, I think, for them, for their progression. But you see a real belief in them, and I said it's great to see. So you see lads come out their shell that were maybe quite quiet in their first year. By the time they get to the last year, they're running around nutmegging people and shouting the odds and everything. So it's a great programme, and one that I'm sure if you spoke to every lad, I think they enjoy it.
What's unique about our programme is the fact that it's based at home park, so that actually like the students are living and breathing each day at the football club. So I think that really kind of creates that unique bond to the club. It creates that really good spirit between the players, the staff and the students, and that benefits us when we're on the long away trips, when we're working hard to make sure that we're getting their education to where it needs to be. I think that real tight-knit group is something that students will probably cite as one of the best experiences about the course.
Well, the Argyle course is brilliant for football development. They've got a range of options. You don't have to be a player, you can be a coach, you can be interested in the qualifications you get. I strongly believe that you'll mature as a player, you'll get better, because I've been here for this is my 3rd year now. You get much better as a person as well. When you mature, they get you into good habits. Genuinely, it's such a good course to be on. I came here at I think 17. I was quite immature, so obviously the coaches, they drill it into you to be representable, because you are representing the badge at the end of the day, so you have to be on your best behaviour as always. It's just manners. Everything to do with your personal development, not even just as football, is key here, because you will grow as a person, and you'll these students that you're with at the beginning will turn like friends and family, because you are tight knit. You will be in a squad for minimum a year together, so it's really good for that sort of aspect.
From the course, I've helped mature as a footballer and as a person. You learn so much on the course. I have academically and football. I've learned a lot playing football here. Passed all of my exams, all of my assignments because of the course.
I would strongly recommend the course. I do believe that it's the best decision I've made.
And if you want to express your interest in the programme or gain further information, then please get in contact with the Community Trust. You can do that by emailing act-educationrecruitment@pafc.co.uk. It's on your screens now. That's act-educationrecruitment@pafc.co.uk. The work they do is absolutely brilliant, as you've just been seeing. Right, you're watching Argyle TV, and in the next just under 20 minutes time, the players will be back out here with their tracksuits off and will be ready for kick-off, because coming up next, though, some Portsmouth team news. Right, let's turn our attention to the visitors, to Portsmouth now, and they are just about still in contention for these players, as we were saying earlier. 10 points behind Argyle, a win of course today. That'll be down to 7. They've got a couple of games in hand as well, and are in pretty decent form. They've got a draw at Ipswich Town on Saturday. Here are the best bits.
The fourth official's call is just now.
Right, let's have a look at the side that they've gone for today. Danny Cowley's made a couple of changes to the side that got the draw against Ipswich. They play with a familiar formation. It's very similar to Argyle's, with the 3 defenders at the back, Sean Raggett at the middle of that. The big news really is that Michael Jacobs, who had been nursing a knee injury, has not made it in the squad for today's game, which is good news, I suppose, for Argyle, because he's a very good player. But Pompey, Ian, they're in good form. They're unbeaten in their last 8 games, and as we've been saying, are well and truly in this playoff mix. So it's going to be a real tough one for Argyle.
Yeah, it will be, and they've obviously been fairly free scoring, but then at the weekend, it's a good result for them. Ipswich, really another huge club really in this division. So they're in good shape, and Argyle will definitely need to be kind of probably doing a little bit more on an attacking sense than they did away at Bolton at the weekend. There'll be a little bit more onus on us to take the game to them, perhaps, and maybe Portsmouth will set up in a way where they're expecting that. I think they were quite defensive against Ipswich at the weekend, and whether they kind of come and set their stall out in a similar way tonight will be interesting to see. Yeah,
and it did kind of come away from what they had been doing, because I think it was something like 24 goals they scored in their last 8 games or something. That's probably not quite correct, but it's something similar to that. They're the top scorers in the last 5 or 6 games anyway, and they didn't in that game. But they've got real quality. They've got this lad on loan called George Hurst, who's hit real good form at the moment. Ronan Curtis is someone that Argyle fans will know all about, Ireland international. And yes, they didn't score on Saturday, but they have been free-flowing. How do Argyle go about stemming that, do you think?
Yeah, well, I think one way that Argyle can stem that a little bit is by playing their own game of possession football. And if Argyle can keep the ball well and make Portsmouth work hard, that's one way of stemming Portsmouth's attack. Don't give them the ball to start with. Ultimately, I think that it's going to be a hard ask to do that the whole night, and I'm sure at some point Portsmouth are going to want to come and attack as well. And like you said, probably as you'd expect of a club of Portsmouth's size at this level, they've got some really quality players, and there'll be some of them that Argyle definitely need to keep a close eye on tonight.
And they're well supported as well. I think I was talking to their press officer just before the game, and I think they've sold 1,400 for this, so a real big noise coming from that away fan, coupled with over 15,000 sellout at Home Park. We spoke about the games are normally pretty entertaining, pretty tight. it's going to be as much as a game off the field between the fans as it is on it, I think.
It will, and I think that should bode well for a really great atmosphere tonight, and I'm sure that will lift the game as even make it even more of an occasion. And hopefully the football on the pitch can match the atmosphere off it as well.
Which way do you think it's going to go?
I'd like to think we can get a result tonight, and I'm going to go for 2-1, I think, if you're going to push me for a prediction.
Well, I wasn't even going to push you for a score, actually, Ian. I wasn't going to do it,
there we go.
But you've gone ahead and done it. Well, thank you very much. We'll let you go up and have a chat with Rob. In the meantime, we'll have a look through some of the socials that have been coming in from you guys at Only One Argyle on Twitter, or Plymouth Argyle Football Club on Facebook. Zoe's put a picture of herself in the stands at the moment in the Devonport end. Nice to see you, Zoe. She's just put the green heart emoji. She's cheering on the Greens today. There's a lot of people that are right up for this game. Archie says Tuesday night under the lights. What could be better? Come on, you Greens. And we've got John as well saying poolside in Barbados, watching Argyle, making use of the international pass on Argyle TV. So hello, John. Hope you're enjoying the sunshine over in Barbados. It's a little bit chillier here, that is for sure. And if you're going to the cricket over the next couple of days, hope you enjoy that as well. But there's no place I'd rather be than at Home Park, if I'm being totally honest with you. It's a huge game at the top end of League One. Both Argyle and Portsmouth well and truly in the mix for the playoffs, and today could go a long way to determining who gets the upper hand in the run-in. We'll hand over to Rob and to Ian in just a moment and get the whole sort of build-up and verve of the game. But just before we do, I'd like to kind of talk about the Uber Eats deal that we've got going on at Plymouth Argyle. We're delighted to have teamed up with them for this season and joining the club as an affiliate partner. Uber Eats will sponsor the all-new pre-match quiz, which I hope you've taken part on, the Argyle app before today's game, as well as the brand new Moments of the Month feature, which is just a couple of weeks away as well. That'll be on all of our media channels and, of course, on Argyle TV at the end of this month. And to kick off the partnership with Argyle, fans can download the Uber Eats app and receive £10 off their first order if they spend a minimum of £15. All they have to do is use the code Argyle10 when ordering. Players are still out. They're going to be heading off down just to my right-hand side in a moment or two's time, and they will be getting their final instructions from the two coaching staffs and managers, and the ground is filling up nicely as well in anticipation for this game. So we're almost ready to go. Quick reminder though, if you're watching on YouTube and want to watch this game at home, if you can't be in the ground today, then you can watch it on Argyle TV. A match pass is just £10. Go to our website, pafc.co.uk, go on the Argyle TV tab and there'll be a streams pass thing there, or go on the fixture page and you'll be able to be routed through to that buying page. Just £10, absolute bargain. Make sure you can watch it if you can. It's the same, it goes for all of the matches between now and the end of the season. Tuesday night, if you're watching at home, you can watch in the UK. Of course, you can listen, £2.50, not bad either, to matches played on a Saturday. But we're almost ready to get going here at Home Park. So let's hand you across to Ian Stonebridge and Rob Nicol after a little thing to wet your whistle.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, indeed. Welcome to Argyle TV on a jam-packed home park for tonight's game between Plymouth Argyle and Portsmouth. Every home game, we have that VT in the build-up, and I love watching it. So many great memories throughout Argyle history.